Alright, I told you I would have two videos today. Yes, this is the second video focusing on new Zara fragrances, and I promise I will not be doing any Zara videos for some time in the future. I'm kind of getting bored of their fragrances. I took a chance and got these fragrances because I do admire these two perfumers. The first video was on Alberto Moria's 4 oud fragrances, and now I've got 4 of the latest fragrances from Olivia Giacobetti, and this is the collection. It's called the collection by Olivia Giacobetti. But in the bonus section, I'm also going to talk about Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes and Sand Desert at Sunset. These are also 2 fragrances you guys have been asking me to review. Well, I've got them all here. Find out all about them coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian, who's a fan of Olivia Giacobetti. I'm a fan of her fragrances, really enjoy her fragrances, but I haven't seen her do this kind of a collection. First of all, never seen her do a Zara fragrances collection. And then also these kind of musky, I'm almost thinking these are skin scents. We'll see, but they all go into the musky direction. And I don't know, I haven't smelled them. This is a blind buy. I took a chance. Same with the ouds from Alberto Moria's. Those were a bit disappointing. Let's see how these are going to be. I'm assuming I'm going to like these ones, but just by thinking of the fragrances and the notes that are in there, I think these are going to be very, very light. They might smell a bit laundry clean, fresh, musky, and things like that. And so we'll find out. So first one is Livre Blanc. I think that's how you say it. Once again, it's $39.90 for 100 ml. A perfume by Olivia Giacobetti. So I believe that's what the collection is called, a perfume by Olivia Giacobetti. And so once again, these won't come off very easily. Maybe they will. No, this one's coming off fairly easily. The last 4, the Alberto Moria's fragrances, were a little tight. I couldn't get them off. But that one slipped off pretty easily. But do let me know if you're a fan of Olivia Giacobetti's fragrances. She's known for Philosophes, for the house of Diptyque. Yeah, Diptyque. I almost lost my train of thought there. I thought about L'Artisan, but she also did Premier Figuier for L'Artisan. But I believe L'Artisan's Premier Figuier came out 1 or 2 years prior, and then she did a very similar fragrance for Diptyque with Philosophes. So here is the bottle for Livre Blanc. Simplistic bottle. It's a bit frosted on top, not so much everywhere. Once again, it's a refillable bottle. I think it's a refillable bottle. Maybe not. Yeah, it is. It's a refillable bottle. So these are going in the route of refillables, but we'll find out when they're going to sell some refills for these. Let's talk a little bit about the scent. This Livre Blanc features notes of cotton, whitewoods, musk. So yeah, these are going to go into very easy, clean, soft, musky, skin scenty kind of directions, I am thinking. So cotton, white woods, musk. Last time I saw cotton in a fragrance was Juliette Hazagun's something musk. Oh wow. So this is quite nice. I'm a big fan of musks. And just like I hated, well, I didn't hate them. I didn't really like the Alberto Moria's collection. This one is really, really good. Really surprisingly good. It's very, very clean. It's very, very airy, woody, soft, and musky. Oh my god. This is actually perfect fragrance. This is probably going to satisfy anyone into skin scents, anyone that likes to wear soft scents. This could be a great bed scent. I think it's very clean. It's almost like when you put it on, you'll be like sleeping on clouds, like a fluffy pillow. Very cozy. That stuff smells really, really great. Really, really pleasant. I'm surprised how great this is because I was so disappointed with the Alberto Moria's fragrances, but wow. First fragrance, and it is not disappointing. That is a fragrance called Livre Blanc from Zara, created by Olivia Giacobetti. Let me know if you've gotten your nose on this one. Do let me know. Now I'm excited for the remainder of the collection. But the next one is Popeline Blanche, this one right here. Who's a fan of musky fragrances? Do let me know. Put a comment down below so I can find out. This one is not slipping off easily, so I'll have to break into it. sadly. And if you've gotten your nose on this collection from Zara, also let me know. I'm just hoping they won't drop any more fragrances that'll tempt me to get them to talk about them. I hope this will be it for a while. This is Popeline Blanche, this one right here. Similar bottle, obviously a bit frosted on top and clear on the bottom. I can see why they've done these bottles like this, because the theme of the fragrances makes sense. Musky, clean, soft, cotton-like. So this has notes of bergamot, washed cotton, neroli, and musk. We shall see how it is. Once again, really, really great fragrance. Again, I should reiterate, these are not breaking any new ground, but these smell really, really great. This one to me smells more like a traditional eau de cologne style fragrance, but in a musky direction. It's very clean, it's very citrusy. Citrus floral is present here prominently, but wow. This does not disappoint whatsoever. I'm quite impressed. Again, this is definitely worth it for $39.90 with the ouds from Alberto Moria's. They just blended in too similarly. Like all the oud smelled very similar to me, and they're focusing on ouds, and I got nothing but ouds with some light nuances thrown in. Eventually, I found a favorite, but these are great. These are going to be popular, I have a feeling. Popeline Blanche, I think is great. You're going to like it. This will be a great summery fragrance because it's so clean and fresh and citrusy. So far, 2 out of 4 have been great. All right, the next one we're going with is Blanc Ensoleillé, something like that. I think that's how you say it. These are very French names. Obviously, Olivia Giacobetti is a French perfumer. She's been around for a long time. She did a bunch of fragrances for Yunks. I don't know if you guys know that line. It used to be part of the Hotel Coste in Paris. They used to have a little perfume shop there. And she had done all of the fragrances for that line. And there were a few that I really enjoyed. But she's done a lot of fragrances for L'Artisan Parfumeur, a lot for Diptyque and many other houses. But this one, once again, very similar bottle. Blanc Ensoleillé. I think that's how you say it. Or is it Ensoleillé? This one features notes of coconut milk, bergamot, woods, and musk. Similar themes, I think. And again, we're not breaking any new grounds with these fragrances. I've smelled a ton of fragrances, and I've smelled fragrances like these. But they really jump out at me and smell really great. So far, 2 out of 4 have been great. So this one, it smells nice, but it's not my favorite. There's a bit saltiness with this one that I don't care for. A bit more aquatic or marine leaning. But, yeah, it's okay. This one's just okay. I'm not the big fan of it. I'm not getting much of a milkiness, even though it's coconut milk. It just seems a lot more texture. The texture doesn't come off milky smooth. It's more like granulated a bit when I'm smelling it from what I'm getting from the strip here. So in the end, there's a saltiness about this. It's a bit more marine-esque, even though I think there's no marine notes in here. Something in here that they've not credited is coming off a bit like marine fragrance. So this one's not a doozy, but it's not my favorite. So out of the first 2, this would be 3. The first one's really great, and I think the first and the second one I've sampled equally tied, both equally great. This one would be the third one for sure. So that's Blanc Ensoleillé. I think that's how you say it. Or maybe you say Ensoleil. Those of you that are French speaking, do let me know. And then finally we have Vapeur Blanche, this one right here. Once again, these boxes are not very easy to take off, except the first one slipped off fairly easily, but the rest of them were like the ouds from Alberto Moria's fragrances. And then finally, Vapeur Blanche, this one right here. Let's take a whiff of this one. I'm curious. But this one has notes of eucalyptus, cedar wood, and musk. So this is totally different than the others. There's no cotton-like qualities mentioned here. And just if I didn't mention, these are all 100 ml for $39.90. So the first two I would highly recommend you get. Third one, check to see. Let's see what the fourth one is going to smell like. This one to me, it's kind of reminding me of Comme des Garçons Zagorsk. I don't know if you guys know that one. Cedarwood is really, really strong in this. Quite strong. I'm not getting any incense-like qualities, but faintly maybe there are something like that back there. But the cedarwood together with the eucalyptus kind of creates a bit of a bitter camphoric touch. And then, of course, it's quite musky under there as well. So I don't mind this one. It's not my favorite. It also kind of seems like it's got that kind of Vicks Vapor Rub-like quality there, because it opens up your senses, because it's kind of woody and green and camphoric. You know, Vicks Vapor Rub, eucalyptus kind of a thing. Yeah, I don't hate this one. I don't love it, but 2 out of 2 are really great, I think, from a collection. But some of you might like this. I mean, those of you that like Zagorsk from Comme des Garçons, you might really dig this one, because it really does remind me of that. It smells like shaved woods, pencil sharpening, sharpened pencils, or just a carpentry shop sawing, you know, the cedar wood and things like that. And that's kind of what it smells like, with a bit of that kind of eucalyptus camphoric Vicks Vapor Rub-like quality or smell thrown in there. So that's what that is, Vapeur Blanche. I think these are stronger than the Alberto Moria's Oud fragrances. And the problem I had with the Alberto Moria's Oud fragrances, all of them smelled very much alike. The Oud was so strong. And then what happened was it dominated over everything else that was supposed to be in the mix. So all I got was Oud, and everything was just a weak note in there trying to come through. But out of the collection of 4 fragrances created by Olivia Giacobetti, I really loved Livre Blanc. Really loved that one, and Popeline Blanche. I think these two are equally great. But once again, I'll say we're not breaking any new ground. These have been done before, but she's done a great job with these two, followed by the other 2, Blanc Ensoleillé and Vapeur Blanche, which I don't love, but I also don't hate. Anyway, those are my thoughts on these 4 fragrances by Olivia Giacobetti. It's basically called the Perfume by Olivia Giacobetti, as you can see right there. Have you gotten your nose on these fragrances? Do let me know. Put a comment down below so I can find out. And after watching this video, what do you think? Which one sounds the best to you? What do you think about the price on these fragrances? 100 ml for $39.90. Is there any one that you're going to go rush out to get? Let me know. Put a comment down below so I can find out. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today. As I said, I'm not going to do much more in Zara videos going forward for a few months at least, hopefully. I'm hoping they won't drop anything new. I know I'm getting a bit burned out, even though with this video and 2 of the 4 fragrances that are created by Olivia Giacobetti that I really enjoyed, I'm still getting burnt out by the brand. So I will put it off for a while and then come back within the next couple of months later to see what they've been launching. But if anything comes out that everybody's like hyping it and loving it and things like that, I will look into it. But for now, I'm kind of done buying fragrances from Zara, but we'll see what happens in the future. But either way, if you have any questions or comments here for the collection here created by Olivia Giacobetti, do let me know. Put a comment down below so I can find out. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Alright, glad you stuck around for the bonus fragrances. These are 2 fragrances that you guys have been asking me to get my nose on, and really thought that these are really great fragrances from this last drop from earlier this year. So we've got Sand Desert at Sunset, and then we've got Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes. So 2 fragrances, and I believe this collection are perfumers over at Givaudan, and I did a video some time ago. And we'll see how these are, since you guys have highly recommended these. So the Sand Desert at Sunset is a fragrance created by Benoist Lapouza, and this is $39.90 for 100 ml. Obviously, these are eau de parfum concentration fragrances. Let's give it a whiff here. A sniff, I should say. There is Sand Desert at Sunset. So, who's a fan of this one, and what are your thoughts on it? Let me know. This seems like it's going to go into a gourmand direction. Aha! This is good. This is delicious. But it's a clone, isn't it? So, Benoist Lapouza copied himself with, what's the Killian fragrance? Angel's Share, right? This is kind of like Angel's Share, but it's a bit different. But I can see the similarities in there quite a bit. I can see why this is popular. It's a great take on something like Angel's Share. I can smell that it doesn't smell identical, but I think it'll do if somebody wants Angel's Share and can't afford it and they go with Sand Desert at Sunset. For me, in this one, I feel like the cinnamon has not been blended perfectly. The cinnamon kind of stands out and hits my nose quite a bit, unlike Angel's Share. And also, there's a bit of a bubblegumminess in here, which I'm not sure where it's coming from. Something bubblegummy is in there inside that's kind of interfering with what I think of Angel's Share should smell like. But once you get past that, this is kind of like Angel's Share. Yeah, I can see this being popular. Sand Desert at Sunset. I would get it if I couldn't afford the other. So we've got Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes. This one is a Mylene Alran creation. Once again, these two perfumers are with Givaudan. So this is Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes. Who's a fan of this one? What do you like about this one? I've seen Mylene Alran's name come up. Same with Benoist Lapouza, but not quite frequently, so... This one has notes of bergamot, ginger, mandarin, amber, cassis, orange blossom. I forgot to read the notes of the other one, but let's go forward with this. I mean, it's a great freshie. I've heard people say this smells like imagination, which I'm not getting whatsoever. It's a fresh fragrance, but I don't get the connection to imagination, maybe very faintly. I mean, both of them are pretty good for the price. You're getting a quality fragrance on the budget. Yeah. I like the other one a little more than this one. I was kind of hoping it would smell a little more like imagination. But I think it'll satisfy. This is Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes. Yeah, it's not bad. Anyway, those are my thoughts on these fragrances, and thanks so much for the recommendations. And as I said, a little break from Zara for a while. I'm kind of done with Zara for a while, and I'm hoping they don't drop any more fragrances, because they have done way too many fragrances. It's just an overload. How do they keep track of all this stuff? No wonder it's a bit of a mess when you're trying to find their fragrances, because for the longest time I couldn't find a bottle of Sand Desert at Sunset and Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes. It appeared all of a sudden. Who knows? Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a good one. Goodbye.